Now, the United Nations has doubled down on its mandate following the withdrawal of the United States of America from a number of UN organizations. KTN's Noakip Kemboy reports on how the UN is standing its grounds amidst massive financial pressure.
After the US announced its withdrawal from a number of UN organizations, including the UN Economic and Social Council, Economic Commission for Africa, UN Conference on Trade and Development, UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, and Office of the Special Advisor on Africa, among others, the United Nations has reiterated its commitment to its mandate, noting that it has not yet received any official communication from Washington.
And I can tell you that the Secretary General regrets the announcement by the White House regarding the United States' decision to withdraw from a number of United Nations entities. We have yet to receive any official communication. When we will receive it, we'll look at it. But as I say, we're continuing on with our work.
The withdrawal statement from the White House indicated cutting of funds from the organizations, noting that for United Nations entities, withdrawal means ceasing participation in or funding to those entities to the extent permitted by law. The UN says the US has to pay its contribution by virtue of being a member.
Contributions to the budget, the regular budget, and the peacekeeping budget are treaty obligations. The operative word being obligations, right? It's in the charter, right? So member states who've who've joined this club have to pay the dues, right? And they are assessed dues, and then there are voluntary dues. Assessed contributions to the United Nations regular budget and the peacekeeping budget, as approved by the General Assembly, are legal obligations under the United Nations Charter for every member state, including the United States.
With the US being a significant contributor to the UN budget, the move to withdraw from many UN organizations is set to impact on the UN finances, though the Global Intergovernmental Organization maintains it is still resilient in spite of many members falling behind on their obligatory payments.
We've been managing under this financial pressure for some time, right? As I told Emily, the U.S. didn't pay in last year. Other member states paid later than we had expected. He has to juggle financial cash flow that I think would make the head spin of any CEO or head of government. It's very complicated. Our comptroller, I think, doesn't sleep at all as he tries to keep the lights on in this building.
The US has withdrawn from many renewable and clean energy organizations due to Trump's stance on the sector. Though speaking at the G20 summit, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reiterated UN's commitment to clean energy transition.
We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work. They're too expensive. They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad.
Last year, 90% of new power capacity came from renewables. Global investment in clean energy reached $2 trillion, 800 billion more than fossil fuels. The economics are on our side, but political will needs to catch up. Fossil fuels still receive vast subsidies. Corporations are pocketing record profits from climate devastation, and lobbyists continue to greenwash the truth, while developing countries are locked out of a greener future.
A legal standoff looms between the US and the UN, especially on withdrawing from the treaty organizations, at the same time creating a potential vacuum in funding, further squeezing the UN budget. Noakip Kemboy, KTN.